This instructional design plan addresses the instructional issue of student inability to think critically and problem solve. With the recent changes in the state testing format from the New Jersey AST to the PARCC test, the level of questioning has stretched from skill-based to application and reasoning. Evidence was collected through sample assessment questions, and it was discovered that students could memorize skills, but most students demonstrated the inability to think analytically and problem solve. The students commonly succeed in working basic operations, but fail to reason mathematically. This plan is designed to not only improve students' ability to think critically and problem solve, but also to provide instructional strategies to improve teacher pedagogical ideologies. Whew, that was a mouthful. This leads us to a very important question. What is critical thinking? The term critical thinking is intimidating. It is often perceived as a profound exercise of the mind, an intangible pursuit reserved for the likes of Socrates, Aristotle, and even Einstein. Critical thinking is disciplined, self-directed thinking. It's not just one more thing that you tack onto your curriculum. It requires thinking about your thinking while you are thinking in order to make your thinking more clear and more accurate. That's a lot of thinking. Indeed, scientists do this every time that they use a scientific method. They ask questions, gather, assess relevant information, come to well-reasoned conclusions or solutions, and they communicate effectively when they write up the results. Critical thinking is the ability to think clearly and rationally. It includes the ability to engage in reflective and independent thinking. Someone with critical thinking skills is able to do the following: understand the logical connections between ideas, identify, construct, and evaluate arguments, detect inconsistencies and common mistakes in reasoning, solve problems systematically, identify the relevance and importance of ideas, and also reflect on the justification of one's own beliefs and values. As you can see, critical thinking skills are extremely important. Overall, the main goal of this unit is to have our students improve their critical thinking skills. With the improvement of these skills, students will be able to have a higher success rate at being able to transfer the mathematical skills learned to situations where they can make application. The major outlining goal of this plan is to improve students' ability to demonstrate persistence in solving authentic learning tasks. Also, a major goal is to get the teachers to incorporate critical thinking skills and strategies into their instruction. Critical thinking is a term that is giving much discussion without much action. So now let's take a much deeper look on how this unit plan is going to improve students' critical thinking skills and also help teachers incorporate these very important thinking strategies into their classrooms. Let's first take a look at the instructional goal of this unit. The instructional goal is to improve students' ability to demonstrate persistence in solving authentic learning tasks, and teachers will incorporate critical thinking skills and strategies into instruction. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the goal analysis diagram. Let's take a look at the first component of the diagram. Teachers will incorporate brainstorming strategies into daily instruction. To do this, teachers will identify ground rules for class brainstorming sessions. They will also script questions before an activity to generate answers for productive brainstorming. The teacher will also design the brainstorming session with the idea that the individual will brainstorm initially and then will follow up with a group session. Teachers also must know that brainstorming sessions are used to activate prior knowledge, and the teacher must know how to implement question stems and graphic organizers to draw on student schema. The second component of the diagram that we'll focus on is that the teachers will incorporate collaborative learning communities or groups into the learning environment. To do this, teachers will clearly identify and post the rules for working in a learning community, and teachers will identify the roles for each group member for the accountability purposes. The teacher will identify roles such as president, scribe, artist, speaker, those types of things. The teacher will also group the students heterogeneously. To do this, the teachers must know the academic levels of the students, and also the teacher must be willing to become an active facilitator and relinquish some of the control. The third component is that teachers will incorporate higher order thinking questions in all activities. To do this, the teacher will incorporate an essential question to guide instruction for each intended learning outcome, and also the teacher will incorporate 3 higher order thinking questions that will be embedded in certain parts of the lesson. The teachers will tier all essential questions and higher order thinking questions on the levels of Bloom's taxonomy. The teacher will post question stems in the classroom. To do this, teachers must have an in-depth knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy. The final component of the goal analysis is that teachers will replace traditional skill-based warm-ups with a problem of the day that incorporates modeling and written articulation of steps. Teachers will design short, authentic tasks that contain 3 elements: standard alignment, student models, and an explanation. Teachers will post focused correction areas for writing explanations to help the students. Also, teachers will post examples of how to effectively model a situation. For example, how to model the subtraction of algebraic expressions. The next part of the instructional design plan that we will focus on are the objectives for the unit. The first objective of the unit is that the students will be able to increase and improve analytical thinking skills by solving problems in real-world context through authentic performance-based assessments. The second objective is that the students will create a journal of reflections on problem-solving strategies that were utilized through ascertaining solutions in performance-based assessments. The third objective is the following. The students will improve logic and reasoning skills by solving problems that involve reflective practice. Examples like explanations in higher order thinking tiered on the levels of Bloom's taxonomy. The fourth objective is that the students will increase patience and persistence in problem solving by diagnosing why it is difficult for them to demonstrate resiliency and perseverance when problem solving. The students will construct a list of strategies that can be implemented before students can simply ask the teacher for help. The fifth and final objective of the unit is that the students will improve decision-making skills by working collaboratively in their learning communities. The students will design the guidelines for working collaboratively in their communities. The last part of the design that I will share will be the instructional strategies. All learning activities will be designed with the following components. The first component will be a brainstorming session. There will be both an individual session and a group session. Following the brainstorming session will be the problem of the day. The problem of the day will be utilized to improve students' transfer process. The third part will be the mini lesson. The mini lesson will focus on developing a conceptual understanding of the skills being addressed in the upcoming performance task. The performance task is the most essential part of the instructional design. Performance tasks build on earlier content, knowledge, process skills, and work habits that are strategically placed into the lesson to enhance the learning as a student pulls it all together. That will be followed by the reflective practice exercise, which will be the journal writing. To get a much closer look at each instructional strategy, please visit Blackboard and check out the wiki. This is Brad Spicer. I just wanted to say I enjoyed putting this instructional design plan together and making this video. Please, if you would like to check out all the components and parts of the plan, Blackboard and check it out. Really enjoyed the course, and looking forward to moving on. Thanks.